Hey y'all, it's True Crime Queen. Today I'm back with 3 more story times that I found on Reddit. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. I'm a 28-year-old man and my 28-year-old wife Amber, not her real name, and I got married less than a year ago. It hasn't been perfect, but we've made it work, especially with our 4-year-old. A month ago, my wife confessed to me that she kissed her female best friend, Rebecca, also a fake name, during their girls' trip last weekend. Up until this point, I always believed my wife was straight, so at the time, I didn't think much of it. Later that evening, Rebecca was seen at a club making out with another man. She is also going through a divorce. Fast forward to this morning, I had a nightmare that I caught my wife and Rebecca hooking up, but it wasn't exciting, it was disgusting and sad. I woke up and I couldn't get over the feeling of betrayal. So I did something that I'm not proud of. I grabbed her phone while she was sleeping and found the incriminating messages right there under Rebecca's name, which read as follows. Amber, hey girl, I've been trying to find the right words to say, but I wanted to talk about last weekend. Basically, would I love to end up with you? Yes, but you have a lot of crap going on, and so do I. But I guess I'm saying it's all up to you. I would love to see where this would go. I love us. I love who you are, what you believe in. I want you to know you're freaking amazing and perfect for me. Rebecca, I've been thinking about this a lot also. I hope you're okay with everything. Amber, you're so special to me, and I don't know how you feel about last night, but just say the word and I'd legit leave it all for you. End quote. That was the worst part to read, that my own wife would toss our 10-year relationship down the drain, especially with our baby involved. There was plenty more that was said, but of course, you get the idea. I'm just heartbroken. I'm 95% sure we're headed to divorce through this one simple message thread. But I want to also protect myself so I can be in my child's life as much as possible. I'm a 30-year-old female. Almost 8 years ago, my fiancé lost his life after someone opened fire on him when he refused to give up his wallet during a robbery. Obviously, I was devastated and sent into a deep depression as we were planning our lives together, and in a fraction of a second, it was over. Afterwards, I left my career in the medical field behind, barely got out of bed, and I cut off contact with almost everyone. But with the persistent support of some very close friends and family and my amazing therapist, I started to move forward. Through the grief counseling and temporary mental hospital stays, I've been able to begin the healing process. Fast forward to around 2.5 years ago when I met my current 27-year-old boyfriend. Despite my love for him, I'll always still love my late partner as he was my first love. However, I've already pictured what the rest of my life would look like with my current man, and he said the same. He was also super understanding and compassionate when I first told him about my late partner's passing and my grieving journey. I truly could not have asked for a better boyfriend, or so I thought. My boyfriend likes to play pranks on me. It's not a constant thing or frequent enough to where I would suspect anything or be too annoyed, as they've all been pretty harmless up to this point. He texted me 2 afternoons ago to confirm dinner plans we had that evening, and I replied asking if he needed me to pick up anything on my way home from work. I planned to FaceTime him at lunch like I always do, but he didn't answer me. I just figured at the time that he's probably busy. I sent him a couple more texts after lunch, just random stuff, but he never responded. And when I left work, I noticed he never read my previous texts. I got a little anxious, but pushed it aside. I didn't immediately worry, but a sudden break in our routine felt odd because he always tells me in advance when something is going on or if he's busy. Always. Anywho, I drove to his apartment from work and I was immediately taken aback because the door was ajar, which made my blood run cold. It was quiet enough to where you could hear a pin drop. I expected to hear music, the TV, or a true crime podcast, but I heard nothing. As soon as I entered the kitchen, I saw broken glass at the far end of his kitchen island with a few drops of what I thought was red wine until I walked closer. I ran around the long island and saw the horrifying sight of him laying flat on his back with the blood coming out of his mouth. It was everywhere, on the carpet, wall, fridge, and around his head. I was instantly hit with a wave of PTSD, reliving every emotion I felt when my partner passed. My heart was pounding out of my chest, my eyes welled with tears, like I was in full-blown panic mode, but thankfully my body went into autopilot thanks to my background in the medical field. He seemed to be unconscious since he wasn't responding to my voice. He wasn't moving at all, and I wasn't hearing or feeling him breathing. I honestly didn't even feel his pulse, although admittedly, that could have been because I was in full panic mode and my mind was racing. So I started giving him CPR while screaming at my phone to call 911. After about 10 seconds of chest compressions, he suddenly came back to life and screamed at me that it was all a prank. All I can remember next is my boyfriend apologizing profusely, him canceling the 911, and me just walking out of his apartment and figuring out that the red all over my clothes was fake blood. Obviously, I'm hurt, pissed off, sad, and most of all, re-traumatized. The stupid prank ripped open all the old wounds that I had about my late partner, and I feel like I have to start my grieving process for him all over again. My boyfriend has tried calling and texting me more than 100 times in the last few days since the prank. He even came over to try to talk to me in person, but I had the deadbolt on and ignored his apologies through the door until he left. My boyfriend's mom called me this morning in tears, apologizing on his behalf, and told me how sorry he is. She said that if he would have told her about the prank in advance, she would have cussed him out and warned me ahead of time. She also said she's here to support me in any way. She also told me that he complained of chest pains and had to take him to the hospital, where they learned that I had fractured a couple of his ribs while attempting to give him what I thought was life-saving CPR. Honestly, that's what he gets. There are so many emotions going through my head right now. I'm so angry at the world for, yet again, ripping away a man I love from me. Because even though he's alive, I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this, despite the fact that I still love him. What should I do next? My husband and I recently got married 6 months ago and have been together for 10 years. I recently learned he's been having an affair with his coworker for 3 months. Obviously, I was devastated since we also have 2 kids together. We've never even had any previous issues with infidelity, so I didn't expect this. He didn't come home one night after work, and I got suspicious, so I looked at the messages on his computer to see who he was with. I found DMs on his computer since he forgot to log off. That's how I found out about the affair. They are coworkers. She's also married with kids. Here's where I might be the a-hole. After I texted him and called him to no answer, I messaged her. He then called me from her phone. He admitted he was wrong, but he didn't want to lose me. The whole time we were getting married, he knew he was cheating and didn't tell me. He would come home with me, then go to work to be with her the next day. I've been angry, so I called her out on her BS and I told her husband, which he didn't know about. She lied and told him that she spent the night with her girlfriends. My husband says I went too far and I didn't have to include her husband. What should I do next? Alright, y'all, tell me how you feel about these stories in the comment section down below. If you have a story that you would like to share, you can send them to my email at truecrimequeentv@gmail.com. Love y'all. Next video's on the way.